Hey there, my fellow bougie Beameronians. Is that a term? I like it, because these bikes are nothing but bougie, and I love it. I've got a little video here I want to put out on specifically heated gear and the electrical system on these bikes. When I was waiting for 7 months for my bike to get here, I was on the forums and different sites trying to find out exactly what plugs came on these bikes and where you could plug your gear into, because these gerbing jackets and gloves and pants draw a lot of power. And there's for sure one plug on the bike that I knew of, but when I got the bike, I had an extra plug on there that I didn't know was going to be on there. So I figured I'd throw something out here to clear up all the confusion on where you can plug in on these bikes. There's a lot of new people on these, getting on these bikes that don't know, including myself. I didn't know what was what and where I could put what or what I needed to install, because I wanted to have everything ready to go when I got it. And I kind of had to hold off until I got the bike and found out what exactly was on the bike to power all this gear. So I'll shut up now. Let's go to the bike and I'll show you what we got and how I have my system set up. All right, this is the clutch side of the bike, obviously, and the plug that everybody seems to know about and see is this plug here. I think it's called a DIN plug, and you just lift the little cap and you can plug in a pretty, well, let me show you what it looks like here. It's right here. So the plug would look like this. Looks like a huge cigarette lighter plug. I think it's called a DIN plug. It's a European thing, I believe. So naturally, I went and got an adapter that could go from that to my heated gear. Well, the only problem is that is a max of 5 amps. So you do not want to plug heated gear into that. That's literally pretty much just for putting on a charge. Like I have an Optimate battery tender, and that's really all that plug is for. I suppose you could get adapters and things and plug in like your passenger could plug in their phone or whatever to it, but I don't see much other use for that other than that. So once I got the bike, this here, let me lay it out here for you. This plug was actually mounted to the battery, which is cool. I had no idea this plug was going to be on the bike. It's fused and it has the typical, you know, the SAE type plug. I took it off because I didn't want this plug, especially on this side. I think you could have moved it to the other side relatively easily. It's pretty long. It's got to be 1.5 feet long. So, but that was mounted right here on the brake side of the bike. Of course, is my servo for the brake. For my exhaust, I put a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde exhaust, and that's the servo that controls the cables to change the flapper. But this was mounted right there, and of course it was going to the battery. So my battery's pretty clean. These BMWs have this accessory port. Sorry, I'm pulling my hand out. You got this accessory port right here, and as you can see, I only have 4 things going to it. I have, so it's pretty clean, but I have my, that's the bike. So that's the red is the power coming from the battery, the big one, that's factory. The 2 orange plugs go to my Hex Easy Cans. I have 2 of them daisy chained together under the seat. And then this little red one here is going over to my gerbing plug for the plug I installed. So let me show you. Instead of running this plug that I just showed you, I like these. So this is the gerbing coaxial plug, I think, at the round, and you put a my jack, I'll show you it shortly, but my jacket has the male end, and this just tucks under here nicely. I'm not using it, you don't see it, and when you get on, you can plug on relatively easily. So that just replaced this. I didn't want this. You might want to use this, and I don't know if all the bikes came with this, but mine did, and I didn't know it. I didn't know that was going to be on there. So that's how I have that. So when you get to your jacket, you have, of course, I have the wireless controller, so this plugs into my jacket. You have jacket and glove controller, and then here's that other end. This plugs into the bike, that red plug that I have, and then this just zips into there and it's put away. Well, then I run this little wireless controller. I have it stuck. I put some Velcro. It's not going anywhere. I use some heavy duty. It's been on there. I've used this on many different bikes. And that way I can control, you know, the temperature there. It's waterproof and everything. And that's where I keep that. So then you have this, I have an extension here. So when I'm going to use my heated gear, I'll plug this into the bike and just let this dangle. And then once I'm on the bike, you can just reach and grab this coil and plug it into your jacket, and it's seamless. It works really well. And let me show you the amperage here for people that are, you know, I was super confused on what could power what. So here's the BMW owner's manual. Electrical rating of onboard sockets. Max. Let me back it up, see if you can read it. Max 5 amps for all onboard sockets together. So that means, I believe that USB port that they put up on the dash and the little DIN plug total together can only be 5 amps. Well, if you're going to run your heated gear, here's their little handy thing here. So a jacket, I'm running a jacket and gloves. That's 6 and 8 amps. It's right there. So if you have a 5 amp circuit that's on that DIN plug, obviously you're going to trip this stuff, and I did. I tried it out, and as soon as I fired the jacket up, it shut off. And you know, it's on a circuit breaker, it doesn't hurt anything, so you just have to shut the bike off and turn it back on, and it resets it. But it wouldn't power even the jacket. So you got the 8 amps total, there's no way you're going to power out that DIN plug. So you really need to put an option, either option on there, whether it be you want to go with, this is just preference, whether you want to go with the circle plug, which I just think is more convenient, or if you want to go to the SAE plug, which your bike may have one, I don't know, but either it'll have one or you can put one of those on. So that is the best way to have all this wired up, and that's just preference there. And then something else I did is, if you see here, if you're running a helmet or anything else you want to charge, well, you know the bike system shuts down after a minute or so. So if you try to power anything off your USB port once the bike's off, it doesn't work. So let me set something up here so I can show you what this is. So what I have set up here, this of course would go, this is just a coil to an SAE, which I guess if I would have kept the SAE, I wouldn't need all this because it'd probably work perfectly with this, but I prefer the round. So when you do this though, you have to reverse the polarity. I got this on Amazon. This reverses the polarity. So this will plug into your bike. Now this is beyond heated gear. This is for something else. This is not anything to do with heated gear. So you have the plug that comes off of here. You put this little adapter and this reverses the polarity. Then you can plug in, this is just a USB socket on an SAE end. And of course just a little, you know, thing all off Amazon. You plug that in, and then you can plug this in to the other side of that. You have to use this or it'll blow this. It has to switch the polarity around. But now when you have that plugged in and you're stopped, I have a USB-C cable plugged in. You have 2 ports on here, and this is super handy for charging up your helmet. If you're running a Cardo or a Senna and you want to charge your helmet while you're off the bike eating or having a beer or a Coke or whatever you decide to do, this can plug in real quick and charge your helmet up right off the bike. And it's not going to hurt your battery. I've done it many times. It's not enough power that's going to drain anything. And it's pretty convenient. You know, I got a long cord, so you can, you know, this is like a 6-foot cord or 5-foot, But you could charge your phone, you can do whatever you want because this is a constant power source. It's right to the battery. So this is my little setup for charging mainly my helmet. I usually use this to charge up the helmet after 4 or 5 hours of ride. You want to make sure it's charged and you're going to be in somewhere for an hour or something. You come out and your helmet will be just about all the way charged back up. So that's just for that. That's just a little add-on addition. So I don't think I have anything else, but I hope this cleared up any other problems or questions that you had, like I had. And there's people out here with a lot more knowledge than I have, but I was trying to find answers to this and I couldn't find any. So once I got the bike, I figured it out, and this is just the way I'm running it, and hopefully this helps you. And if not, or if you have a better way, let us know in the comments. Like I said, it's all personal preference whether you want to run that square plug or a round plug. So it's probably easier in some ways to run the SAE and do that, but it's when you're trying to plug in the bike and everything, I find it much easier when I get on to plug in that little coil. And if you walk away from the bike, that unplugs a lot quicker. Like if you forget to unhook and just start walking away, that'll pop off a lot easier than that SAE does. So another benefit to that. So I hope this all helped, and everybody has a great day. Ride on. Peace out. Bye.